We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Hello, everyone. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Welcome to the Rift. True Crimes Mystery Young.
4 minutes until showtime.
With Joni and Christy.
Good evening.
Christy be on the phone. Here's a story of a girl named Joni.
We need one more square filled for the Brady squares.
I know. We had Christy Bug in here. The little Christy Love Bug. And if you hear meowing, I'm sorry. My cats are going insane.
3 minutes until showtime.
Huh? That they do. They're always perishing. Because the food bowl is out. But, if you don't walk them to the food bowl and stand there with them, then I'm dying. I'm growing them in the backyard now. I got 5 little kittens in the backyard now.
Oh.
And they're so cute. And I want to sneak them in. And one follows me around. He thinks I'm his mommy.
How many kittens do you have?
2 minutes until showtime.
I want to keep
Just
them.
sent me a picture of a gray and white one that needs a home. And I'm like, no more. No more kittens. No more.
I'm telling you, one year I grew 12.5 cats in the backyard. I couldn't grow a Hanover tomato to save my life, but I grew 12.5. I was like, I don't know what kind of seed. I didn't know it was either, but man. I'm going to be that old lady that's 150 years old. What a long, bumpy ride. I've got 10,000 cats in the backyard.
1 minute until showtime. Oh God, it's hot in here. I hope the air comes back on soon.
Are you still without power?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm getting warm.
I bet.
I mean, at some point it may actually be cooler outside.
Yeah, open your windows. It's quiet.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Love Talk Radio.
Podcast Network, right here on Blog Talk Radio. With shows 6 days a week. Saturdays set aside for special events and recreation. Join us as we release the best on the net today. Be a part of the recreation.
Charming, grand, elegant, and memorable. Words just used to describe self-representation of bed and breakfast. No philosophy energetic river, includes standards of Canada. This was first institution, first president and founding father, James Madison. This history management features work sharing for suite, review the Rappahannock River and plantation. Here's the presentations, fresh air, and views of the river presentation, Lakeview. If you're looking for the perfect location for a wedding, anniversary, corporate retreat, seminar, or romantic getaway, Belgrove Plantation provides a year-round destination with unique venues and events. For more information on reservations, date availability, events, and scheduled tours, visit our website at www.belgroveplantation.com or call 540-621-7340. Again, that's 540-621-7340.
And now your host of the evening, storytelling skiller, Christy Goins, and co-hosting, Shirley Lynn.
Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another true crime episode, Mysteries Beyond the Veil. We are streaming live from Blog Talk Radio this evening and the Rift Radio Podcast Network, as well as video streaming from the Rift Radio's YouTube channel and Mysteries Beyond the Veil YouTube channel. So please check us out on YouTube and hit the like button, subscribe. You can also view past episodes on our YouTube channel. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. And at this time, before we get to our featured case, I would like to introduce my two hosts this evening who had a great weekend at Belgrove Plantation. Christy Goins. She is a paraforensic.
Hello.
How are you, Chris?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Good. Did you have a great time this weekend?
Oh, I really did. It was wonderful. There were fantastic people there. Great speakers, very informative, and it seemed like there was just a good vibe all around. And we had pretty decent weather too. It was sunshiny, breezy, not too hot.
That's wonderful. And our other co-host for this evening, Miss Sherry Lynn. She is the host on Monday evenings for Haunted Tales. She was also at Belgrove. And I would like to thank her. I have a book from a great author, Greg Lawson, who is a paranormal detective. So thank you for the book, Sherry Lynn. How was the weekend?
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. And hello, John Sullivan, who's tuned in watching. I had a wonderful time interviewing him, getting to see him and Sandra. It was so many great folks out, and it was hot, but we had a good time. So,
it was beautiful. Thank you for the pictures and the videos and the lives. And if you missed any of the lives and want to see the grounds at Belgrove, it's absolutely stunningly beautiful, this plantation. Check out the lives that everybody did, and there were interviews, and it's on the Rift Radio Network's Facebook page. So go check out everything that happened over the weekend. It was wonderful. And we would love to have Greg Lawson on. He is a paranormal, and he's actually a police officer, paranormal investigator who also works on missing persons cases. So we will definitely, we will definitely talk to Greg, get him on as a guest, get some information. I can't wait. And also a huge congrats to Leanne, who won the raffle for my book, Activating Your Gifts, The Clairs. So that's wonderful, Leanne. It will be in the mail to you tomorrow. So thank you, Sherry Lynn, for the raffle, and sounds like y'all had a great time.
I sure did. Yeah, congrats, Leanne. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
They're wonderful. It's great to be getting out again after 2 years of nobody seeing anybody, and now all of a sudden we see people and we see their faces, and it's good, and people are happy, and it's a wonderful time right now. So it's great to get out.
It was. We got lots of hugs, and it was wonderful to have face to face with all the people we haven't seen in years.
I know.
Yeah.
It feels like 5 years. It doesn't even feel like 2 years. It feels like, where has everybody been? And now people are happy and they're smiling. So I hope everything, knock on wood, keeps up, and everybody stays healthy, and we keep shows and all of that fun stuff.
And a big shout out to John Sullivan and his group, Fredericksburg Paranormal Research and Investigation. John. Oh, I remember. I got it all. FPRI is what I normally go short with, but they're like the guest paranormal team there, and they did the investigations there throughout the weekend. So kudos to them. They had some great stuff happening. I wish I could have been involved, but I can't wait. I've investigated with them. They are awesome. So
also co-group paranormal, which was with Tyler Darnell.
Yep.
Well, John, welcome. Thank you for tuning in as well. Welcome. I'm glad y'all had a great time. And I just wanted to go over, we do get some questions and text to us, and I wanted to go over just one. I'll do like one question a week before we get to our featured case. But the main question that I get, and you can also, if you have a question or a suggestion or a case you'd like us to look at, True Crime Facebook group, PM me there, or PM me on Messenger, Joni Templeton Skinner. I love to hear from you guys. But one of the main questions I get is, how do you learn forensic astrology? Where do I get started? What do I do? So just,
Good question.
I hear it a lot, and very quickly, it's great to have a background with astrology, and it doesn't have to be an extensive astrology background. Common knowledge of the planets and the houses and the different signs. You don't have to be a master astrologer. And then I'll tell you who probably is the best teacher in the world, and I've talked about her often on the show, is Kirsty McIntosh. She is from Australia. Get her. She has great YouTube videos. She has excellent books on Amazon. She also has tutorials that you can get beginning classes on forensic astrology, advanced classes, also on mapping. You will see mapping tonight, which is and she will teach you how to do the calculations on where the searchers can look and at what line. So definitely check out Kirsty McIntosh, Amazon, and on YouTube. And actually just send her an email and send her a message on YouTube and just say, Joni said for me to get some information. This is what my level of skill is. What do you suggest? And she's lovely. She'll help you out. But that's one of the questions I hear a lot. So I hope that answers your question. And if you have any other questions or suggestions, please reach out to us. We love to hear from you. And just like tonight, if you have any questions on tonight's case, call us at 323-870-3877 or shoot a text, put it in the comment column on Facebook, and we will answer you. But tonight's case, oh, I heard the cat. I heard the cat, Sherry. Oh, okay. That's a girl's cat, you guys. So tonight's case has recently been in the headlines due to the fact that Brittanee Drexel went missing in April of 2009. What Brittanee did as a 17-year-old from Chile, New York, wanted to go on spring break with her friends to Myrtle Beach. And how many mothers have heard this? And mother said no. So Brittanee went instead. She didn't listen to her mama, and she went to Myrtle Beach. So, and Brittanee was 17 at the time, spring break, left, and ended up at a very nice hotel in Myrtle Beach with her friends. April 25th, 2009, Brittanee was 17. She was a senior in high school, spring break time. It's pretty normal for a lot of kids to do this. Her mother told her no. And you know what's interesting? Her mother stated that she knew and had that gut feeling, which we've always talked about, is that claircognizant feeling. When you have that gut feeling, you better listen to it, and you stick to it and listen to it every time.
90 seconds.
Yes. So what happened with Brittanee, she was last seen on videotape at the hotel, and she was talking to her boyfriend. It was in the evening at
60 seconds.
What's wrong with Blog Talk, you guys? It says there's 60 seconds, so we're having some issues, you guys. So what should I just let it go, Sherry Lynn, if it does?
Yeah, it'll keep going.
If we lose you on Blog Talk, please switch over to the Facebook page. So I don't know what's going on with Blog Talk. We may be having some technical issues with Blog Talk. So if we lose you, please flip over to Facebook Live or to the YouTube channel. So, okay.
10 seconds.
Sorry about that, you guys. So if we lose you, head over there. So I'm sorry, you guys. So to get back to the story, Brittanee was walking outside of her hotel at 8:58 p.m. in the evening. Now, this was on the main drag down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And she was talking to her boyfriend, and he did not hear back from Brittanee. which was very unusual. So he called Brittanee's mother after his responding texts went unanswered, and Brittanee's mother called the police. So with that, and that was in April 25th, a massive search continued. They tried to, and by now we're using phone pings, okay? So Brittanee's phone pinged outside of the hotel, and then again 6 miles south. It pinged again at 9:27 p.m. down in Surfside. So it's 6 miles the phone is pinging. Okay. Now I'm showing for our friends on Blog Talk, I'm showing a map that encircles all the way from, if you're familiar with Myrtle Beach, from Myrtle Beach down to North Santee is where her phone last pinged on April 25th at 11:58 in the evening. That was the last ping of her phone. So in May of 2009, a huge search goes out at the boat landing where her phone last pinged. There were canines, 50 investigators, everything you can imagine for a massive search for this 17-year-old girl. Nothing turned up, as well as digital billboards everywhere. Nothing turned up. So June of 2010, her family is awarded an honorary graduation and certificate for Brittanee for high school. Again, nothing has surfaced with her. No clues, nothing. Do you have anything to add to this, Chris, while I'm going along? You or Sherry?
Like she was on the boulevard, main drag, and the phone messages from her boyfriend, she had a few that just went unanswered. And like you said, the next morning, he went ahead and contacted mom, and he actually said, like he texted her, he basically said, I don't hear back from you. Tell your mom, and when she didn't hear back from her,
Right, and I guess you can imagine he thought she was out.
What response would not respond? No,
Exactly. No response. So then we have a little twist in this story. What happened is a gentleman in the area and his father were arrested, and an FBI agent in August 2016 testified in open court that there was a jailhouse informant that Drexel was abducted, gang raped at a stash house in the McClellanville area. And the agent said she was allegedly shot when trying to escape, and her body was fed to alligators. So now they think and of course, the gentleman that they said was accused in jail said, I didn't do it. So you can imagine what happens to a case when it gets a twist and a turn such as this. Now they're going to put their attention on a son and a father who were in another crime, who is this jailhouse snitch. And that also we'll get a lot of, we've got our sleuthers, we've got our internet people. Then we have the case going into a completely separate direction. So did you guys want to add anything to that, where they kind of got off track with that? The jailhouse snitch.
Yeah, that's strange. There's so many things that the people that were, at least the young man that was accused, that kind of went wrong when he was being interviewed, things that he said that could have been taken wrong. He apologized for her family losing her. which made him sound like he might have been guilty. There were lots of things that did not help his case. I think that now that they've totally, cleared that, but it's quite strange. Right after, when I found out that he was about my first clue was that she could have potentially been sold to pedophile by someone that she had in South Carolina. I had not known anything about the case at all at that point. So I found that very interesting because that was my first clue.
Right. Well, and now Brittanee is back in the headlines. In May of this year, a murder suspect who was one of the persons of interest, besides the father and son, allegedly confessed to the police. This is just May of this year, led them to her skeletal remains. This is a gentleman by the name of MOODY. And I almost don't want to even talk about him, to even give him any airtime, because it's just, it's enraging. He was a registered sex offender who spent 21 years in a prison following a 1983 abduction and rape case in California involving a 9-year-old girl. Now, the authorities are keeping very close lip. What?
Jailhouse husband said that there were 6 girls, not just the one. So I don't know which one's true, because that's what his boyfriend at the time, or husband said.
Well, you can. I guess you can only go by what he's been charged with and what he served time with, which was, yeah. And in 1983, he was released in 2004, which gave him 5 years before he struck again. So, and he had moved into the South Carolina area, which was south of Myrtle Beach. And so, again, he confessed. The authorities are not really giving too much information on why he confessed, but he was, and believe this or not, on the day after Brittanee was kidnapped, he was pulled over for speeding the day after Brittanee was kidnapped. So if we look at everything that we do on true crimes, we were wondering, we know where she was, we know where she was found. Would we have been successful in helping the authorities, helping the search and rescue teams? Because now we know the circumstances of the case if we go back and look at it kind of in a reverse fashion. And it's pretty interesting what was found. And so, Sherry Lynn, Christy, do you have any clues?
Well, I did say that one earlier, that I felt like there was somebody, it wasn't just like a picture up on the side of the road type thing. I feel like somebody else was involved and pointed her out to him.
Okay.
That's going to come up in the future.
Right, because they're not releasing the details yet, which we will. Like I said, he was arrested 2 weeks ago. So with Sherry Lynn's clues,
go to the page before this one.
Okay, I put Sherry Lynn's clues up on the screen. Okay, Sherry
All right,
Lynn.
there you go. Now, where you see deceased, didn't realize she was dead and remains found. I had no idea if this was a deceased case or a case of like Elizabeth Smart where she had been found alive. So that's what that means. I don't want anybody to think that that was something that she did not realize she was deceased. That was me not realizing she was deceased. So,
Okay.
but I got rebellious, some drug, alcohol abuse, that she was deceased, depression issues, possibly suicidal. Her body moved. First place, which I'm taking to be the murder scene, was cold and damp, watery area. Second place, burial and ground further away. Picked up for a ride.
And it was.
Wrong place,
It was.
wrong time, wrong person. She thought she could trust him. He's a repeat offender. I felt like a criminal. Her cell phone and wallet hold clues. She was lonely but hid it well and self-medicated but very strong-willed. And then the next page was Spirit Box. And I got, it's still early. Peter, the name Peter came up. Good time. They left me. 2 people, wallet, and then 2 repeated when asked where she was. It kept saying 2, 2, 2. And then words on another app that I was using said mighty, close, and then Ben, which I didn't know if that was Ben the name or Ben, like Ben somewhere else. Martin came up. Circus, which kind of told me like things were crazy. Somewhere north, but it was kind of like it's where she was trying to go, not where she was found. Familiar, and so when I got familiar, it was like, well, I don't know why I'm getting Rochester. And I don't know anything about Rochester other than friends in Rochester. President, cool, grandfather, anywhere, crop, engine, which told me, okay, there's a motor vehicle involved, please, and flat.
Well, if you look back on your page 1, her body, she was, the police have released that she was murdered at the boat dock, which would be cold and damp at the watery area. Second place was the burial in the ground, which was north because she was murdered south and then taken north. So that's where you're getting your north, I imagine.
Okay.
And she was in a wooded area. So she was buried in the ground. So that's what that would be. And the number 2 is, and I'll show it to you when we look at the mapping. It was Highway 22, and it was all the highways around that area were 2s.
Okay.
Like 22 through 48, and then it's kind of a weird marking of a highway, but there were a lot of 2s because, and this is how I know there were a lot of 2s. I looked at the road and looked at the event astrology chart, purposely looking for 2s.
And I got the feeling like it's still early, meaning that whatever time this happened, it happened. It wasn't like a 2 a.m. or a 3 a.m. type thing, that it was still early. And they left me, which made me feel like she was with a group of people and then she had to find a ride.
Well, and apparently when he did confess, the story was out that she had gone here or there, but no, she had been murdered very quickly, and he buried her immediately. So this was not a lingering, oh, she's stuck in some house or whatever. like what the rumors were at all. You're right. It
Okay.
was very quick, and she was buried immediately by this
Okay.
Moody. So that, I mean, those clues are just really pretty spot on. And then when you try to match it up with the charts and the mapping, you can see them. So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I really think that he was an opportunist, and she just happened to be the wrong person, the wrong place, the wrong time.
Well, and if you look at, his past history, it was with a 9-year-old child he abducted, and Brittanee was 5 foot 100 pounds. She was very tiny. So, he might have even mistaken her for a younger child.
Yeah, I mean, she looks like she's 12 or 13 years old. I mean, she does not look like a senior in high school. Not at all.
She looks very young. She's a beautiful young girl. Beautiful young girl. But it's good that at least the family will have some closure. So there were a lot of really good timestamps for this abduction. And as everybody knows that listens to the show, we have to have a timestamp to make an event chart. So they had perfect times. And the timestamp that I elected to use, it was the 8:58. I'm not sure which one I used. However, in the media clips, it said that she was found or murdered 46 miles from where she was abducted. So when you look at the event chart and you combine two angles of the event chart, it gives you 46 miles. So right now with Sherry's, what we have with Sherry's clues, and she said that she was moved north. If you would have taken those clues and combined what we have on the chart, there's no, and I'll show you the rest of it, there's no doubt in my mind that this would have led authorities to where she was. And I was
what
familiar with this case.
What time was this?
This was, I have to look at the chart. This chart was at 9:27 p.m. chart when the second ping was occurring in 6 miles away.
All right, because the very first thing that came out was a female voice that said it's still early. So for somebody that's young like that.
Yeah, I screwed up. Wait a minute. It's the 8:58 p.m. chart is the one I used. That's the one when she was first abducted. The 8:58 p.m. The last text.
So it would have still been early for a 17-year-old.
Well, she's on spring break. That would be early. They would just be getting out of bed then to go out and party for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the security cams never captured her getting back to the hotel, so they kind of know an approximate time of when she disappeared.
Well, it was around the last text with the boyfriend because they were texting. So
yeah,
it's about so. And then if we look further into clues, the chart is telling us she is near water. She is near an airport. And I looked for sunglasses because her sunglasses were found at a different area than where she was found. So I looked for the astrology sign that represents sunglasses. And sure enough, the sunglasses were in the car when she was abducted at the hotel. So it tells you the entire story. And if you look at it, it looks like a bunch of planet symbols, but it actually tells the entire story that they went a short distance, 46 miles. The sunglasses were in the car. she is right next to all of that going on. There was a throat and neck injury. And I only put that on there. I usually don't. But because it has been confirmed by the authorities, I added it in there because we do see that. But I just usually don't put it on there. If I can't confirm it, I won't put that on there. But that's what apparently Moody confessed to. And I think that was about a lot of it. And then when you take the chart and do your calculations, then you do what's called the mapping of the area. So we took the point where she was abducted, which was the hotel where she was indeed abducted, and we did our circle at approximately 46 miles. That took us down to the area of North Santee. And when you look if you were looking at the map, I put a blue pin at that area. So it told us the mileage, the chart did. So then when we do the lines, and each planet has the degrees, it took us, we found the airport, which was the Georgetown Airport. It was right next to a lake. And then up where all of the number 2s are on the highway around where her remains were found. So the line would have taken us there. It was confirmed by Sherry Lynn's clues with the 2s and the 22/48 road. And another line went up to where her sunglasses were found. So I didn't put any of the other lines on there because it does look confusing, because the 2 lines where her remains were found are basically the main lines that we would like for it to happen, to see. But I think it was remarkable that it was right near the airport, and he lived in a hotel in the Georgetown area where she was, her remains were placed. So he was out, stalking and looking for a crime of opportunity on spring break. And that's what happened to Brittanee. So if you look back and you go through all of the clue information, and then you kind of put all of the pieces of the puzzle, I think they would have eventually gone definitely to this area, because she was murdered down in this area, Sherry Lynn, where you said, taken north up. She was murdered around the water, taken north up to the woodsy area. Now, there's not around an airport. I mean, it's all right there by a pond, wooded area. So that's what we do. That's how we work together and put the clues with everything, and you match these things up, and it's extremely accurate.
I strictly go by doing photo readings. I don't like to know a whole lot of history. I just like to be able to look at a photo and pick up from a photo. So for anybody who's listening or watching, that's how I put a story together. I do a photo. I look at a photo, and then I do my spirit box and other app, and then I sit down with cards and get a story line, and that's the storyline that I got.
And
there was another
I also
name,
know that Psychic Sherry does that as well. The other Psychic Sherry, I send Psychic Sherry, and she's been ill, and get better soon, Sherry, soon. I just send her a picture. I do not send her the name. The only thing that Psychic Sherry likes to see is the person's eyes. She will not look up the case. She doesn't even want to know their name. So, I mean, a lot of people that are skeptical could say, well, they knew all this information prior to, they had all the information. And all of us, none of us, and any of the clues that I get as well, I do not look up or research the case prior to getting clues, because you just don't want any of that information tainted. So none of us do any type of research whatsoever. Now,
Yeah,
I do
like,
unless I do the astrology.
yeah. Now, like the case with Steve, was it Millis? That we
Yes.
did. The only thing I did was go on Google Earth and I parked myself right in front of where he was last seen, and then I just drove to where I felt like I needed to drive, and didn't listen to anything other. It was just drive, drive, drive.
So I'm very curious to get our new author friend on to share what he uses from a paranormal standpoint on how he helps with missing cases. I can't wait for that. That would be super exciting.
And you know what I find interesting too? All right, Santee came up this weekend. Georgetown came up this weekend for me. And tonight, Mandy and I were sitting here talking about this show, and we both heard paper rattling. And it was like we've been sitting here all day, no paper sound at all. And I'm sitting here going, what is up with the International Paper Santee Woodyard? And we could hear paper rattling, and I was like, where's that noise coming from? Georgetown was not far from where I was born and raised, and I met some folks from that area this weekend. So we were talking about Georgetown and that area, and then Santee's, and then Mandy and I heard paper rattling tonight. So it was like, as we were talking about this, so I'm really befuddled now.
It's very interesting. And it's very interesting, and I know it is for our listeners too, because we will bring on a case and we'll be like, well, this is what we found, this is this, but we've never really sat down and explained how we do it. And like I said, it would be easy to say, well, they look up the case and then the clues come, but no one does that here, because you wouldn't be accurate. And it would be hard to decipher whether it's coming from a conscious place or another place, or logic. So you can't investigate. So if you are intuitive and you are interested in true crime, it's super to practice with a case like this one, where you will know the end result. And there are several cases out there that you could sit down with pad and paper and try to get clues, look at the picture, and write down what comes to you and comes to your mind. Because everybody has intuition. It's just developing it. And this is a good exercise to kick in your intuition and work with it. And if it gets a little bit too heavy, or you see things you don't want to see, just simply stop. I mean, it can happen. You just stop.
Yeah.
But it's a good exercise for people that want to enhance their clairvoyant abilities. Everybody's got intuition. It's just learning to use it and develop it. But this is how we do it.
Now, we did have one here on Facebook. I have a niece that is missing as well.
Well, just send all of the information that you can to us. You can send it to me on our Facebook page, True Crime Mysteries Beyond the Veil. Send a timestamp if you can to do an event chart and a mapping, and send a picture, and we will certainly work on it. I mean, that's what we do. So please send it. We'll work on it. What other hints do you have, Sherry Lynn, for people that want to use this? And what else would you say? Just pen and paper, or
pen and paper, go with your gut. Pay attention to habits, because when people change their habits, there's a reason for it. That's probably the biggest thing that I would say, is that if you start to notice someone's habits changing, it's a red flag. There's a red flag there. Either they are going through something emotional, God forbid it be something health-wise and possibly mental, or it could be they're being upset or bothered by somebody else. So, watch the habits of an individual. If they start to change, if their moods change, pay attention to the mood. Pay attention to the, especially, it's kind of like if you're used to getting normal text messages like, I'm fine, thanks for asking, and all of a sudden you get a message that says K, and you know that's not like them, something is off. Pay attention to habits. I mean, I walk in the door from this weekend, and I've got another missing person.
Right. Well, and it's we are at an epidemic level in our country.
62 years old.
Yeah. Christy, what advice do you have, Chris, for people that want to use their intuition and get into true crime?
I would say the first thing is find yourself someplace quiet that you can get away from everything and hear your own thoughts, and get away from your monkey brain, which means, all of the hectic things that are happening in your life. Try to shut everything up. You gotta turn that phone off, turn it off, turn everything off, and try to find some quiet time yourself, and try to open a conversation for yourself and for your loved ones. That's what I try to do. That's what for me. And don't put everything off.
Right.
They're going to do what they're going to do, and you're going to get the information when you get it. Just like what I said to get for Miss Brittanee, I didn't continue to get some but I got some that were from the previous case for Mary Davis Johnson. So, just because the case goes to the next week doesn't mean we're done with it, and are looking for someone we continue to look at. They continue to give us clues.
Right. And that happens to you a lot. Yeah, that happens to you, though, more frequently than it happens to other people. So it's almost like if they don't get out what they want to tell you, they'll come the following week.
Yeah, they come back.
Yeah, they come back.
Oh, yeah.
They don't leave. But
I put that on myself a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been interesting. It's been interesting. Howie and Rhonda and I, we went out to the cabin, and Howie and Rhonda were in the cabin. I was back behind the rancher, and I knew the young lady that was at the rancher, who was sadly, tragically murdered. And it specifically, I asked who was in the cabin, it gave their names perfectly clear. And I said, okay, then who am I? Then it gave my name perfectly clear. Got it recorded. I mean, you can't miss it. Asked if this was the young lady's name, which I'm not going to repeat, and said her name, said hi, and it was very, that's my cat now. Very clear. But yeah, I mean, go back to the place. And for family, it's hard to go back to that place. But you know, if you know someone who does this or is familiar with this, go to that place and let them get a feel for the area and get a good idea of what the surroundings are and the who, what, you know, the W's, who, what, when, where, why, and how. You kind of got to go at it like detective and paranormal. You kind of got to go both ways with it.
Both ways. Well, just to wrap up the Brittanee case, Moody was charged. He was arrested, and he was arrested on May 7th. And he has been charged with murder, kidnapping, and first-degree criminal sexual conduct. He is 62 years old. He is a previous perp, which means he's eligible for the death penalty, apparently in South Carolina. So I think it was interesting that he was a person of interest. He's facing single counts of what I just said. And the detective said it was a hurdle to get him to confess. However, he did. But, you know, he was a person of interest. He was pulled over the following day. He has been a person of interest in Brittanee's case since the get-go. And I'm just, you know, at least she has been found. You know, he has been arrested, and that's really all that matters in this case. I think it's very interesting to see, to show, and to let our listeners know exactly how we do this. It's super, super interesting. We do have an army. We have a lot of people that are clairvoyant that will call in and give us information and say, hey, I got this clue. I've gotten that clue. So if you ever get a clue during the show, please don't hesitate to let us know. So
God bless your family.
Where can people find you on Monday nights?
Monday nights, 9 to 10, right here on Rift, Haunted Tales from the Old Rocking Chair.
And you met one of your authors, didn't you, this weekend from your
yes,
show?
one of my good buddies, Pamela Kenny. Yes, she not only donated a book for the raffle that I did at the table, but she's just an amazing, wonderful woman. And not only did she write this book, but she wrote 2 books while she was having this one published. I mean, she is an author extraordinaire, actress, costume maker. She writes fiction and nonfiction. She's just amazing, and I just love her to death. So Pamela Kenny, in case you're watching, you're just awesome. And she kept sneaking little gifts over to me, and just, I love her to death. Did an interview with her, love her to pieces, to the moon and back. So she's fantastic, salt of the earth. And God bless her husband for putting up with her. So,
and Miss Christy, where do people find you and your jewelry and other information?
Well, I'm here Tuesday night at 8 p.m. and you can find me on Facebook with Christy's Gems. And I was like, Christy Child's work that when we talk about jewelry, so, just a piece, know.
And what's your Facebook group called? Christie's Gems? Okay. Alrighty. Well, with that, friends, I hope you enjoyed kind of a behind the scenes.
And Joni, Joni,
yes.
What is the name of your group, madam?
Oh, okay. And
I can't hold your book up because it went away. I gave the book.
She gave it away. My Facebook group, it's really a fun group. It's Activate Your Gifts. The Claires, it's on Facebook and it continues to grow. We share ideas how to develop your intuition and all kinds of other cool stuff on how to up your vibrational level, how to get rid of crappy energy, just all kinds of fun stuff. So join that group. I would love to have you. So with that, we will see you guys next Tuesday for another true crime. And please get that information on your niece that's missing to us because we will certainly look at it. So I am going to leave you guys tonight with one of our friends that we love to death. And they also had a book that was raffled off over the weekend. So have a great week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, indeed.
Based on real people and actual events. Mystery Case Files, Secrets of San Saba will take you on a journey through a trail of clues. Learn how authors Jeff and Shelley Preston overcame obstacles and discovered solutions on the quest to find justice for their family. This day, missing person days, cold-blooded homicide. Take your copy today. And you decide which case files, Secrets of San Saba, available on Amazon.
Have a great week, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.